right, here we go. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Crypto Freaks. And as I predicted yesterday, it looks like the market dipped, and that was because of the CPI report, right? What did I say yesterday? If we had a below the forecast prediction that comes out, and it looks like it did, CPI came out at 3.1%, which isn't like that big of a deal, but it's enough. In this current market, with our crypto going up so high, you have to have pauses, right? That's exactly why what I see here when I look at this chart, this looks like a pimple that's just uh, it's basically ripened to maturity, let's say. This pimple was going to pop, and it had to pop. And the only way you can actually move up after something like this, after a run up this fast and this high, you have to come back and start consolidating, or you have to sell off a little bit to allow other people to come into the market. And as we can see, this morning, after the report, we saw a decent drop here. We went from, let's see where we are, 60 cents. I guess last night we hit about 60 cents, and that was about 11 o'clock. And we fell as low as 55. It's pretty good on Cardano, considering how much it's gone up. And as you can see, the buyers already rushing back in, and that green candle forming. You know, like I said, there's nothing to worry about. These drops are actually good things, and that's what allows crypto in general, or any market, you know, stock market's the same way, to start moving back up. So I just wanted to come on and kind of let people know that, hey, when you see something coming down like that, don't worry about it. And also know one more thing. Whenever you are, you know, in TradingView, for example, you'll get these little bubbles right here. These are basically like news bubbles, and they tell you of what's coming. And when you see something like, I mean, I knew this was going to happen because there was one of these bubbles here that said CPI, of course, was going to be coming out today. And considering what I see happening in the real world, prices on things have not gone down. Everything's been going up like crazy. So that's kind of a pretty good indicator to me that the CPI report was going to be negative. And when you have the market going up so fast and so high, it's like they're looking for any excuse to pull down. And that was it. You know, the CPI report was it. I actually was expecting a lot more of a sell-off than what we're getting right now. It's already coming back up. Although I don't know if it's going to maintain this trajectory, but I was expecting more. I was expecting maybe 50 cents. Let's go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin real quick. Okay. Yep. Same exact maneuver. And as you can see, I had some trend lines on there. Of course, it broke through it. And that breakage was basically like the first sign to let you know we're going down. So a couple of different things kind of come together to play a role in letting you know what's going on. Okay. Just making sure my stream is okay. It's good. Sometimes this thing will drop, and I'll just be talking into thin air. So just making sure we're still going. Yeah, it looks fine. All right. So, predictions from here. Let's see. Let's take a look at what we have. Yeah, Bitcoin's just rocketing upward. Uh, yeah, it looks like we're going up, guys. And we're going to be going up pretty fast. We got volume building up on Bitcoin. And the RSI is basically in the middle. So we're probably at like a, maybe below actually. Yeah. We're probably like at a 45 on the RSI, which means we definitely have room to go up. Plenty of room. And it's really quick, just flip over. I check on Cardano often because I'm heavily invested in it. And look at that, man. Look at the volume on Cardano. Just rushing in. Yep. Aren't you glad that you got Cardano? I certainly am. It's one of my favorite tokens. And there's a reason for that. They have probably, their metrics on development are higher than any other token out there. Like exponentially higher. So I'm expecting Cardano to release a ton of news on new additions, moving into this bull market, upgrades. And keep in mind that last bull run, Cardano wasn't even completed. People could barely use it. It was kind of in a test phase. And we hit like, what, $3.16, somewhere around that. This bull run, because Cardano's basically, it's ready to go. You can use it now. And they're still adding on to it. But knowing that going into it, you know how Sol and some of these other, I actually don't like Sol at all. For the simple fact that they got hacked, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 times they got hacked. And then the blockchain crashed like 3 different times, all in that one bull run. I mean, that just does not inspire confidence in me. And so I've seen many problems on all of these other platforms and these different blockchains. I've not seen a single one yet with Cardano. Like, their security is top notch, stability top notch. The only time I've actually seen issues with Cardano, it wasn't even with the token. It was the developers basically calling out like a certain date of completing a certain part of Cardano, and then them having to extend that date further out because they just weren't able to complete it in time. So that's the only real issue that I've seen. And I wouldn't even call that an issue. It was maybe a delay in development or some bugs that came up that had to be fixed. And the reason, by the way, so here's the other thing, right? The other tokens don't care. Like, if they have issues or bugs or anything like that, they'll just release the code and put it into production. And, well, they'll just be like, well, shit happens, and things break, things get hacked, Cardano goes out of their way to specifically do a ridiculous amount of testing before going live with any of their code, because they don't want anything like that. They don't want that blemish of like, oh, Cardano got hacked, Cardano crashed, Cardano wasn't able to sustain the amount of transactions that were going through it. And they even do those test nets. I think one time they had a test net running where they discovered a bug that wouldn't allow a certain amount of transactions to go through. Of course, they resolved that before going fully live, and that's my point. So very invested in Cardano. I love it, and I love the philosophy behind it. Sure, some of these other tokens may get there faster, but they're flawed. When Cardano gets there, it gets there and stays there because they've put in the effort. They put in the time. You probably heard of measure twice, cut once. I would classify Cardano under that philosophy. Okay, so as we can see, still going up. What I do notice a lot of times from people is whenever they see a couple of red candles, they start to panic. And you guys got to change the way your mind works. How about these guys that'll sit there like every minute, even less? Some people just don't take their eyes off their phone, constantly watching the price action, and it's making them panic. Should I pull out my money now? Am I going to lose more money? Should I add more money? What should I do? The thing you should do is, first of all, determine, am I in this as a day trader? Do I need to make profit moving in and out like multiple times a day? Or a swing trader where, I'm moving in and out multiple times a week? Or am I in it for the long haul? So once you make that determination, you need to remind yourself, like, I'm in it for the long haul. I've already trained myself to not freak out when I see red candles forming, because it doesn't matter, because I already know at the end of this, we're in a bull run. We're going to go up. So it doesn't matter if we see some drop happening, right? It doesn't matter. If you're a day trader where you're going in and out multiple times a day, yeah, in that case, I would understand that you would be, watching like the minute charts to try to determine, when's the best time to move in, when's the best time to move out. But most of the guys out there that I know, they're not day trading or swing trading. They're long-term holders. And when I say long-term, I mean, you want to see maturity, right? If you've invested a huge chunk of cash, you want to see maturity. Unless you're putting in like millions of dollars, right? And like 1 penny up or 1 penny down is going to, or I should say 1 point up and 1 point down is going to make you, thousands upon thousands of dollars. And it's highly critical that you move in and out to maximize your profits. Then you don't have anything to worry about. If you are like that, then yeah, I understand. But most of you guys out there are waiting for the bull run to mature. So stop freaking out when you see some red candles. Because look at what we're looking at here. Cardano flying back up. Let's take a look at Sol real quick here. Because people are going to say, why aren't you looking at Solana? Yeah, see, same exact thing. Also, the other thing is when you see price action on all the charts doing the same exact thing, that's also another indicator that most likely either Bitcoin is causing the price action to happen, because Bitcoin basically controls price action on all of these alts, unless they decouple. And actually, Cardano had decoupled because Bitcoin was staying flat and Cardano was rocketing upward. So when you do get a drop like this, even after a decoupling, that's going to tell you one thing, that this is happening externally. And it also affected Bitcoin as well. So for some reason, right, that external factor, CPI report, basically recoupled. It's crazy, huh? It's crazy how like decoupling happens and then like the price action will change. Now you have a higher level on another token, then they recouple and you'll have, Bitcoin at a lower price, and let's just say, Sol or Cardano or whatever at a higher price, but now they're coupled again. So as Bitcoin moves up, so does the other one, right? And that's what we're seeing happening here. It looks like all the alts had decoupled slightly, not all of them, but all the major ones. And then with this CPI report, we just got recoupling again, which is, in my opinion, actually, it's a good thing, because let's take a quick look here. We need to draw some new trend lines, I think, here, and see what's going on. So that's on the hourly. Yeah, I don't really like what I see here. But, yeah. So we basically rejected here. We're going to go ahead and, well, first let's move back. I need to pull back more. Actually not bad. Let's start here. So we're gonna draw a trend line. It's kind of hard to get all this in the screen. Let's do this. Okay. Yeah, that's hard to see that. I'll correct this as I move in, as I zoom in, I should say. Squeeze this in. Wish I had more real estate to work with here. Okay. Not bad. Okay. By the way, guys, I'm sick, so if you hear me sounding the way I sound, just know that I'm sick. All right. So this is where I would put this. So overall, we had, it looks like we broke trend, right? When we had that run up. Wow. So we're basically just coming back into where we should be. And what is this, hourly? Yeah, let's go to daily. See what's going on daily. Yeah, okay. Nice. So, yeah. All right. So, what you're seeing here is basically a correction. Which is exactly what it is. You're seeing a correction happening. And as long as all of the, well, as long as there isn't any kind of weird black swan event, for lack of a better term, we should stay within those trend lines and moving upward. But the good news is if you've put money into any altcoins, remember, we have recoupled now with Bitcoin at a much lower level. So that gives us more room to get multiples higher on those alts, which I was actually concerned about. Because when I saw Bitcoin going up so high and the alts were so low relative to where they were last bull run when they were coupled, I was concerned because I'm like, I don't know. Based on Bitcoin and their price action, by the time they reach 150,000 on Bitcoin, which would be like roughly a 3x, I don't know if there's enough time or room in the altcoins, unless they all skyrocket out of nowhere to kind of meet Bitcoin. I don't know if there's enough time for them to catch up. So maybe they're not going to get there. But this phenomenon that you see where like they decouple for a while and then Bitcoin stays stagnant or even sometimes will drop slightly while those other tokens move up, and then they recouple again, that's kind of delinking and relinking, and it's like catching up all of the alts to Bitcoin, which, you know, makes me rest a bit easier. Let's go ahead and take a look at the inflows for, let's do a quick refresh on this. Oh, yeah. Well, let's go over here. Okay, so yeah. So it looks like maybe a little bit, a slight pullback on cash flowing into the exchanges. But it looks like ETH still running up. Overall, this isn't horrible. It's kind of been, if you go out further out, starting from like the 26th of November, you kind of follow this like a bowl-shaped scoop here where more and more cash is moving into the exchanges. This may be a slight dip right here. I'd be expecting to see an uptick here, honestly, because of the dip. Because I wasn't the first person, obviously, to realize that the CPI report could possibly bring it down, and most likely would have. I mean, savvier investors would have moved cash onto the exchanges to buy the dip, because buying the dip is, how we get there. And by the way, don't take any of what I'm saying as financial advice. I'm not a professional. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. So as long as you guys are entertained and you're listening to the smooth, see, that's when you try to be suave is when you mess up. But as long as you're listening to the smooth sounds of soothing Mike's voice, just drift off and be entertained and go to sleep. Matter of fact, don't even look at your crypto account, because it's going to go up. It's going to go up. I mean, again, not financial advice, but for entertainment reasons, I will tell you that crypto, if you stop looking at it for 1 month and then go back and look at it, from this point on, I can almost guarantee you with a 99.99% chance that your account is going to be higher. And I can also guarantee you that there's going to be tons of ups and downs in there. And if you're paying attention to it every second of the day, you're going to panic. You're going to cause yourself to panic, and you're going to do something stupid, and then you're going to regret it. So, be careful. And just, if you're one of those people who can't deal with price action, don't even look at it. But everything we see here, everything is moving upward trend on everything. And really quick, let's go back here. I want to see what is the S&P. There we go. Oh, wow. Oh. Wow, guys. That was not expected. We're on the daily. Oh, my bad. Okay. Hourly? Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's basically another indicator for you to let you know that, if the general economy, or I should say stock market, is healthy, looking healthy, its movement and price action, that should tell you that crypto's probably going to be staying in line with that. Because remember that the last pull down, the crash that started into our bear market, was the report from Netflix, right? Netflix basically came out with their earnings report, and it was like, oh no, it's over. Everybody started selling, right? And then you had the war that started with Ukraine, and it was just one thing after another after that. Isn't it interesting how you get these, like, I do understand, like, we do have those halving events and everything in crypto, but even the stock market follows this, right? And they don't have halving events. It seems that, like, you get these economic swings, and somehow things happen during those swings to cause, are they causing it, or are they happening after the fact? To me, they look like the cause when I look at it. And every 4 years, there's going to be something that happens for crypto. You can be like, oh, You see, the Netflix earnings report is what pretty much pulled it down. Or the war with Ukraine is what continued to cause the market to stumble. Every 4 years, something will, it's like timed perfectly to happen and cause it. Or maybe because we're human beings, we liked to look for patterns and correlations in things. And whatever was happening at that time, we'll just be like, oh, well, there it is. That was the thing, you know? Doesn't necessarily mean that was the actual thing. That just means we kind of look for correlations and causations in things that aren't there because our brains want to make sense of why something happened when we don't know. It is more likely that a lot of these people who have tons of money and also have invested in Bitcoin, they have investments elsewhere as well in traditional markets. So, it's more than likely that one of those people started dumping. It isn't really hard to trigger a crash. And if you can keep egging it on, people panic, they start selling, and you get your snowball effect. Anyways, as we can see, we're recovering pretty decently. Let's go back to BTC real quick. Yeah. Even Bitcoin on the hourly chart. Volumes coming in. Everything is looking pretty good. Let's go down to 30-minute. Oop. Okay. Bitcoin needs to make it above this. What is this? The 50 MA here? Yeah. Needs to make it above. No, that's the 20. It needs to make it above that 20. And once we get that cross happening, we can start resting a little easier. But I think I've already seen that on Cardano. Yeah. Wow. Man, that engulfing candle. Whew. I mean, that thing basically tore through the last three candles. And if we go to that's the 30-minute. If we go to the hour, wow. Yep. I mean, super bullish candle. What we should probably see, and you guys can go back and call me out on this if I'm wrong, but what we should probably see happening here is something similar to this right here. Okay? You'll see you'll see this long engulfing candle. Then you're probably going to see a couple of red candles, smaller red candles, and then you're going to see another massive green candle forming. So, I think by the end of the day, let's see, what are we at here? Right. So by the end of the day, we're going to break through 60 today. It's my prediction. You guys can go back and tell me I'm wrong if I am. They're like, Mike, you said 60. We're going to break 60. I do believe so. I do believe we're going to break 60. And we're probably going to get to... we're going to go back here. All right. We got 64 on this. So 65, 66 is where I'm calling it. So let's go ahead and draw a line here. We're just going to add a alert. All right. It's a little not where I wanted. 66. All right. All right, guys. So 66 is my prediction for today. get ready. Also, yeah, I have to keep stressing this, okay? Because with all the people out there trying to crush crypto and anyone involved in it, this is just for entertainment purposes. So definitely don't base any of your financial decisions on anything I say. I'm just trying to be a funny guy here, okay? That's all this is. Just me being a funny guy. Nothing I'm saying is, you know, should be taken as financial advice. All right. Oh, what do I want to see here? Oh, let's go ahead. You know what we should look at is, hang on. Let's go ahead and take a quick gander at Crypto Panic. Let's see what's going on here. No, we don't want to sign in. Okay. KuCoin leaving New York. Uniswap charges accessibility with stack integration. Controversy erupts. Course not. Yeah, guys, how about that? Solana with an impressive achievement against Ethereum. Let's take a look here. Surged to nearly $75 recently, a peak last seen in May 2022. Have you guys noticed that the market is recovering a little too fast? Like, I actually kind of a little concerned about that, which makes me feel like the bull run is going to possibly end a lot quicker than we think. We may see the end of the bull market in 2026. I get the feeling that we're probably going to peak in 2025. So we're like, everything is happening on a faster timeline than it did last time. And I think what's going to happen is the timeline, the 4-year cycles are probably, we're going to break that. I feel like we're going to, the timelines are going to get shorter and shorter. So it might be a 3-year cycle, and then it might drop to a 2-year cycle and further down. And I think the more institutional investors come into it, the more that timeline is going to shrink, because they don't want to give you enough time to make any kind of real gains. The institutional investors, once they come in, they're going to start controlling the crypto market by the sheer amount of investment and cash that they have that can move around. They're going to be able to manipulate the market much easier once those guys come in. And when I say, I mean, I know some institutions do come in already, but once that BlackRock ETF goes through, you're going to see ridiculous amounts coming in and shifting around. That kind of money can easily break these markets. Because remember, those guys aren't on your side. They are trying to maximize their profits, which means they have to take from you. Okay, it's a finite resource, and the only way they make money, and the amount of money is, that they get to make is in orders of magnitude higher than what you can. So in order for them to win, like hundreds of thousands of us have to lose in order for them to win. And that's how it goes. I mean, money just doesn't come out of thin air. They have to take it from you or someone else. So, if you guys are wondering what's going to happen moving forward, I think this may be one of the last bull runs that we have a chance to make some real gains. So if you're not in it, you're probably going to be missing out big time. See the panic that these people spread? Look at this. Crypto sell-off deepens as Bitcoin and Ether give up past week's gains. Investors sent $2 billion to exchanges Monday, the highest since Terra's collapse. Yeah. But they didn't really give up those gains because like I said, if we look here, they gave up some, but it's coming back up, okay? This is just a stair step. And we're going to see this thing we're going to see Cardano at 66 today. We're going to see it at 66. I'm going to will that to happen because it's going to happen. All right. Yeah, Bitcoin's still on a mission. Let's take a look at ETH. Oh, what's happening here? Wow. Well, looks like volume is coming in. Oh, okay. Seems like ETH did give up a lot more than the other ones. Man, that does not look like a good pattern to me. That looks kind of like a bat. That's ominous. You see this little bat shape right here? Or a seagull. But it doesn't look good. But it doesn't matter because, like Bitcoin going up is going to drive all this up anyway. All right, enough of me just yapping my gums here. Yep, stop worrying about anything. We're all good. Remember, we're at the beginning of this bull run. You can't lose. If you got in, even if you get in now, get in a month from now, you can't lose. Not financial advice. But you can't lose because we have so much upward potential. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, 150K we should definitely get to on Bitcoin. A lot of people are predicting much higher than that, but let's be conservative. I mean, we were practically at 70K last bull run. If you want to be ultra practical, like super conservative, and you don't want to risk anything, pull out when Bitcoin reaches 100K. I wouldn't, but if you want to be like 1,000,000%, listen, no risk, no reward at the end of the day, right? What did Ben Affleck say? No, was it Ben Affleck? No, it was Matt Damon, right? Was it? Fortune favors the bold. Right before the market crashed, by the way. Oh, man, the irony of that, right? Fortune favors the bold, and then, man, I wonder how he felt after that. He was like, Jesus, why did this have to happen now? Oh, right after that commercial, it was the FTX commercial. They spent tons on it, and that is like the wrong message at the worst possible time. But generally speaking, yes, fortune does favor the bold. It just didn't that time. That was fortune also, I should say the brave also end up dying more often than cowards. but the coward will never, ever see fortune, right? The brave, eh, they have a chance. They have a chance to see fortune. The cowards will live longer, but they'll live poor. And wasn't it Alexander the Great that said, I'd rather live one day as a lion than 1 year as a lamb? And that's, it's kind of up to your life's philosophy on how you want to do it. I mean, isn't there something in between a lion and a lamb? Like how about a jaguar? Like, let me live as a jaguar, right? It ain't a lion, but let me have 6 months. I'll take 6 months as a jaguar than 1 day as a lion. Just saying. Just saying. All right, guys, enough of that. I'm sick. I came on just to give you guys a little bit of semblance and sanity because, during this dip, I was getting a lot of phone calls and people were basically panicking. And I'm just kind of going to pop up and help calm people down whenever they're scared and wondering what's going to happen. And real quick before I go, listen, the common thing you want to do when you're in doubt, what do? You zoom out. Let's go to, we're going to do let's do weeks. Let's do 1 week per candle. Or maybe the dailies. Okay, here we go. So, what is that, 2021? Now look at how much upward potential we have. And you can see this Fibonacci extension that I have set up here. Interestingly enough, there it is. So we haven't even crossed into the one. We're actually in, what are we at here? Yeah, we're just about to get into this. Actually, no, that's the price action. Yep. So once we hit above $1, let's call it $1. Once we hit above $1 is when we really start getting into this extension. It's too soon even now to yeah. There's plenty of room for upside is all I'm saying. So if you get in here, look at all this upward movement you get up to $3, and we should 100% go above that $3 range. So what are we at now, guys? We're at 57. Let's call it 58. You got in now. You're basically going to do let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 6x. Yeah, roughly 6x if we just even get back to where we were at the last bull run. But we should be exceeding that, well above. I'm expecting $5 at the very minimum. Yeah, maybe even 6. But 5 we should definitely get to. But if we just go back to where we were, you're already 6xing your investment. All right. Enough of that. All right, guys. I will be back for more when I see some news developing or see something that you should be informed about. I will be back to let you know what's happening. All right, guys.